Hello everybody, Ninjas here and welcome to Maou 2099, which is a show that I know basically nothing about. I know the basic premise, right? We have checked it out during the seasonal stream. It's probably going to be linked somewhere here in the card, so you might want to check it out if you want yourself. I know the basic premise of a Demon Lord of the past goes into hibernation or something like that. I don't rightly know, falls asleep, something of the sort, and wakes up in the year 2099 in the same world. So it's not quite an isekai, right? But it might as well be a different world completely because it has changed through all those years. Now the entirety of I can't say about the world, right? But the area where Maou wakes up is like a cyberpunk kind of metropolis, and many shenanigans ensue. That's all I know, essentially. I even kind of forgot what studio makes it, to be honest with you, but we're gonna check it out, of course, at the end, near the end of the video, rather. I was unsure about watching this show, to be honest with you, which, I mean, you can also see during the seasonal stream. I said as much, because I thought it's gonna be something, how do I say it? I don't know, some sort of adventure, maybe some sort of trying to conquer the world again, right? Stuff like that. But the trailer and the premise, the description, all those things kind of made it seem more like it was a spiritual successor to Hataraku Mao-sama kind of sort of way, and I wasn't sure if it's gonna be something well worth watching, right? But apparently, from people say, both on my Discord and on social media, this first episode was very good. It apparently not maybe defied people's expectations, but it wasn't supposedly just a Hataraku Mao-sama clone. It's something more than that. So I thought I'm gonna revisit my initial impression and I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean, worst case scenario, I don't like it and I stop watching it, right? No biggie. There's way too many series on my channel that I just didn't finish watching, and not even because I didn't like them, just kind of didn't, and I'm gonna have to finish them one day. Yeah, but that's that, and this is this. If you're new to the channel, if you're unfamiliar with how those videos are structured, right now we're doing the intro, then we're gonna watch the episode with subs down there so we can sync up your own copy. I'm using a copy from Subs Please, so if you want to sync up the exact same one, get that one. If not, then I mean it's probably ripped from Crunchyroll anyway or something like that. Then we're gonna go through the show again here in the corner. I'm gonna be skipping through it, stopping when I need to talk a little bit longer about something, maybe going frame by frame through animation, googling stuff, things like that. A little bit more of an in-depth look at what we've seen than what live commentary can provide. Then also here in the corner, we're gonna quickly go through the staff, through the Seiyu, to see who's responsible for this thing, where might we know them from, etc. And then I'm gonna give my closing thoughts about the episode. Sounds fun? Sounds fun. Okay, so without further ado, I'd say we should just start watching this show, right? Shall we? To do it, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Maou 2099, episode 1 in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I was afraid it didn't start. Again, the letterbox. They used it a lot in Vistoria. And the other demons who were immortal. Okay, just immortals in general, not necessarily demons. This dude's like a vampire kind of thing. Or is that our Maou, perhaps? Very cinematic music with the subtle chorus in the background. The king of humans, or the hero? Yeah, the hero versus the Maou, of course, classic. Someone likes alliteration. And he lost, but just about barely, went into a comatose-like state, promising to take his revenge eventually, and thus he wakes up in the year 2099. Something like that? Probably. We'll see. That is open space, or a pocket dimension of some sort. Okay, so 500 years into the future. And people probably assumed it was the hero's attack, but it was some sort of a teleportation magic by the Maou, or maybe not. Maybe it actually was the hero's attack. Not dead yet. He's still immortal though, so... overconfidence, maybe? Oh, no, he is dead. Well, we know that he's not, right? But... Right, but it's also something to protect, something to motivate you, something to push you further. Meanwhile, if you are undead, then you don't really have that drive to live, right? If you have an infinite amount of time, then there's not going to be much drive to do anything, right? I can do it tomorrow, I can do it in 100 years, doesn't matter. True. The shadows cast by his legs. The hero probably did not survive those 500 years. But maybe some of his descendants? Also curious that the hero had no companions. I don't know, just a thought. Usually there's like a whole entire band of heroes or hero and their like attendants. Like, you know, a mage, a cleric, the standard. Machina. Machine. Oh, so we are back to the present. Gotcha. I guess this is the current fashion. Okay. Good to have a backup plan. Some sort of a metro station. Shinjuku. Okay. It's no longer called Alnet, it's Japan now. Nihon, really. Nippon. Yeah. Exactly. Oh. Okay. A dimensional merge kind of thing? Like conjunction of spheres? That is unexpected. Yeah, I mean, very cyberpunk-ish. Right? Nation states living in the barrens. Magic versus tech. And the merger of the two. Welcome to Shibuya. Or wherever it is that you are. Okay. Suitably cyberpunk tunes. Opening? Or just a title card? Opening. Sky building. Just a general label. What's that building? Oh, that's just a skyscraper. It says so right on the side of it. Hero or a descendant? A woman, I think, judging by the legs. Yeah, good to see they have VTubers in the far future. Holographic VTubers. Hololive is gonna make good of their name. Actually, it would be dope if this opening was actually sung by a VTuber and that's their avatar on the screen right now. Mortal and immortal. We don't call them mortals, it's a slur. You're gonna get cancelled on Twitter first day you're here. Weird rings in the sky. Yeah, let's not cause a commotion. Or let's cause a commotion, why not? So did his magic become like commonplace? Or right, unauthorized use of magic? Hero. Yeah. Or again, descendant. Oh, well, the roles have been reversed. Gotcha. Well, that's no good. For the immortals, at least. Hiding? Dead? Missing? Missing. Okay, so first thing we gotta do is find them, right? Oh, what of him? Right, of course. Now I'm really curious what happened to the whoever the bloodthirsty. Towa? Is that motherfucking Hololive Towa? Towa Hololive, rather. I mean, I was, thinking of VTubers and Hololive early on. I got what I wanted, I guess. She just put a bunch of porn on the screens. The menace kind of hacker. Okay, back to Towa. Oh, he can see magic because it's like technology in this world is based on magic in a way, and he is intimately familiar with magic, so he can essentially see like the flow of electricity or radio waves or whatever you want to compare it to. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, finally some recognition. Hacking indeed. Weather hackers. Good morning, ether hackers. uh, she likes talking a lot, doesn't she? Yeah. She's clearly passionate, what can you say? Yeah, wearing a kipao with shorts or spats or whatever it is. Plenty rebellious. I would assume there's at least like 50 people named Marcus. Yeah, safe bet it's him. He left Machina behind just like that. I like the echo of his footsteps. Oh. Did Marcus perhaps like build a demon empire under the guise of a corporation, basically? Only awaiting his return? Nice choker. That's the mascot. Yep. Mascot character. uh, she's gonna be mixing in a lot of English, isn't she? ominous enough. He is the Demon Lord now, or rather, he doesn't want you to be the Demon Lord. He got to the top, and he's no longer a loyal servant. Now that he has his own power, he doesn't need your power. So he's not gonna do that. He already dominates the world in a way by being a powerful CEO of a powerful corporation. Right? Yep. Veltol. Huh? Oh, I'm assuming that's one of the anti-immortal weapons. Oh, also an android, like Machina. Yeah, it's gonna be harder to do in the world that has all this magic technology and anti-immortal weaponry and stuff like that. Yeah. He's basically just a homeless nobody on the streets. Right? With magic of old, but a complete lack of the magic of new. Right? Kinda like Qual from Frieren. Yeah, magic went ahead in 500 years. Magical tools, perhaps? Magical implants? Or did magic simply advance this much? Okay, so it's not just Machina that has it, but rather some sort of an implant that makes everybody able to use magic, right? Uh-huh. Because the spells are what saved in the... Yep. Kind of reminiscent of Mahonare. A little bit. Okay, so he's not gonna have access to it. Presumably his demon generals won't have access either, because I would assume they are also like higher beings. Right. Yeah, he just wanted power. At the time, the best way to gain power was to follow you. Now, it's no longer the best way to do that. Yeah, see yourself out. Well, I guess we're gonna see you in the next 500 years. That would actually be a very interesting twist if it turns out that It's actually Maou 2599. Right, that's most important, isn't it? And we now know why Makina didn't want to talk about Marcus. Not enough mana in the air or something? There he is. Huh. Yeah. Hmm. I think there's more to that than just glimmers of life or whatever. It's just progress. Yeah, that would have been a useful information for sure. And we are outside of the city, somewhere in the dump. Or ruins of, like, what, the old world, basically? It's just an apartment complex. Yeah, just like a four tatami flat or something. Okay, so not abandoned, just a like a random low cost living. Good music. Okay, so she's just a regular wagey like everybody else. Hmm. Okay, JC staff makes it. Now I can see. What don't they make? They always have like 17 shows every season. Oh, that's it. Okay, let's watch it again, shall we? Uh, this felt like way too short, right? It really felt way too short. I wonder what could have been changed here. The meeting with Marcus could have been made a little shorter, I think, and more to the point. That kind of dragged on. Or it could actually have benefited from like a double episode release, right? Either like a 48-minute episode or 45-minute episode or whatever, or episodes 1 and 2 released both at once. Yeah, I think that would have helped the like pacing feeling here. Right, Immortals versus Mortals, well-known conflict. I'm assuming the first thing we gotta do is find the demon generals, for the lack of a better term, because maybe they are not incorporeal. They can use the familia, and Maou is not gonna be able to do the fighting himself, but he's gonna be able to power up his compatriots. Maybe that's one way how it could go. Or we're gonna just focus on growing in strength. That's also a possibility. And just like that, you immortal defeated me because you're immortal. That's why you lost. because mortals have a drive, right? I can't wait 20 years to get my degree or whatever, right? Because it's gonna be late then. I can't wait 100 years until I start a garage rock band because I'm not gonna live that long, right? So it's a constant drive for mortals. They are very usually how it's depicted is that mortals are very fast in comparison with like long-lived races, where an elf, for example, would easily take a month to deliberate over some issue, right? Do I want oaken door or birch door in my home? Well, I don't know, but that elf can stay there and think about it for a month or for a decade for that matter, because it doesn't matter to them ultimately. But mortal races like humans, I don't know, halflings are usually also mortal, even like lesser lifespans than humans. Not always. In Lothar, like hobbits were also long lived, but regardless, they do it very fast, right? Like one day they are, I need a new door, and the very same day, they're like, they need to be made of oak, and they make an order the very same day, everything, right, all at once, because there's not enough time. They gotta rush through life, while long-lived races don't have that, right? It's very easily visible in Frieren, which is like the second time I already brought Frieren up in during the watching of this episode. Wherever there's light, there must also be darkness. Yeah, and the darkness in current year, which is 2099, seems to be not quite the darkness of an evil demon lord, but rather the darkness of unshackled corporationism, right? The, cyberpunk dystopia, right? Maybe. I don't know. Does a word like that need the embodiment of evil when there is plenty of everyday evil that exists? Something to ponder. Farewell, farewell. Right, and he wakes up. One of the pillars of the six dark piers, 500 years. Noel. Underground cathedral of Neldor's dungeon below the former Shinjuku station. So like what? When the worlds merged, did they like overlap? Where basically at those coordinates on the planet there was the Neldor's dungeon, and on the same coordinates on Earth there was a Shinjuku station. As they merged, part of the dungeon like emerged in the middle of Shinjuku. Maybe how it worked. I absolutely did not expect this to be taking place in not quite, modern day Japan, but I did not expect it to take place or even reference like real Earth, basically, real world. The world we were to rule has already perished, right? Alnath and Earth were caught in an unprecedented catastrophe and fused together, conjunction of the spheres from The Witcher. Two major wars, because of course you gotta have wars. Advanced technology versus magic, but then indeed they merged. I mean, it's a cool idea, but I still long for the day when someone actually makes an anime or a manga or fucking whatever, really, a game, a book, it doesn't matter to me, where a world with magic, elves, dwarves, gnomes, dragons, stuff like that, right? Take your, I don't know, Tolkien-ish world and just fast forward it like 2000 years into the future, right? how would that develop, where technology would not necessarily be based on electricity, for example, but rather on magic, right? Instead of a battery in my watch, I would have a magic crystal charged with whatever kind of MacGuffin, right? How would the world evolve if magic already existed? Kind of like, etherpunk, basically, an etherpunk world, where in case of steampunk, for example, things like, I don't know, electricity or electric working phones or computers and stuff like that never was created, because steam was like enough to create an analog counting machine that's steam powered, etc., etc. Something similar with magic, and I was kind of hoping it's gonna be that, right? Where a world of demons, dwarves, elves, magic just get fast forwarded into the future. Alas, it's not that. It's a fusion of two worlds. The Lord of Immortals blooming in the abyss. Straight into the OP. Yeah, that's the weather hacker, ether hacker. That's the hero, female looking, but I'm not sure. It could be Hero's descendant, absolutely. It could be the hero themselves. But Hero is immortal. He wouldn't have lived 500 years, I don't think. Yeah, VTubers. Of course, they exist even in the far future. Six Dark Peers. Right. Yeah, his magic isn't really anything that big nowadays, is it? Like, people's magic advanced over the years and merged with technology, and his like beam that would have entire cities trembling and falling to their knees because holy shit, he can manipulate weather. How powerful he is, right? Instead of that, it's just they're shooting the like weather beams again. I guess some rich CEO wants to see the sky maybe. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't phase them really. It's just whatever. I actually like that. Cool. Also, a cool reversal of the usual fell asleep and fast forwarded kind of trope. There was a period, fairly short-lived, if I'm not mistaken, where there were plenty of mangas that I've read, and probably light novels before them, whose premise was exactly Demon Lord or hero or whoever falls asleep or I don't know, freezes themselves or teleports themselves into the future or reverts back to a baby or whatever. The point is, powerful magic user gets fast forwarded like 200 years or 1000 years or whatever, and they always emerge with strong magic, right? Because it turns out that the world around them either forgot magic or the magic was purposely suppressed by some grand conspiracy or something like that. But our main character from the past has the original, raw, proper, magic. And they are the total badass because, of course, they are. This is the opposite of that, right? Magic did not diminish, magic progressed, merged with technology, and then the result of that merge progressed, right? His original magic ain't shit. Like, Zolthrak is just basic killing magic nowadays. It's like, what are you even trying to do here, mate? Like, t-shirt I buy at fucking Pepco or whatever, it comes pre-enchanted with anti-Zolthrak magic. What the fuck are you trying to do here, right? Cool, I like it. Yeah, got around from the police, and here's the hero. I think he's the exact same guy, actually, not a descendant. I fully expected the hero of nowadays to be a girl, to be a woman, for that, budding romance, because You gotta have that, right? Opposites attract and all that. And also Hataraku Mao-sama had that, so I guess I was kind of driven by that. But no, doesn't seem to be the case. I wonder. I wonder if they would join forces. Hiro, probably, is idealistic, right? He wants the best for the world, he wants the best for the people. People are clearly not living good lives right now. I would assume Maou also wants to make this area a better place to live, even if just for the immortals who are being hunted down. Well, what if they join forces? Because ultimately they desire the same goal, right? What if Maou could be perhaps convinced to not eradicate all immortals, but rather to, I don't know, to introduce like equality or whatever. I don't know. Maou 2099. If you're not familiar with that, if you're new to the channel, this is my green notebook. I always note down my theories during the runtime of every show I watch, and at the end of the runtime, which is going to be 12 episodes for this show, we go through it again and we see how many theories I was correct on, how much I guessed correctly, how much I was completely off base. Maou and Hiro join forces. Ceasefire with the mortals. That is, I'm assuming, like a tiny little battery, maybe, probably. I thought initially, when she inserted this thing into the nape of her neck, that it's showing us that she's a machine, right? I mean, her name is Machina. Though Maou back in the day maybe created an automaton, and she is that automaton. But apparently he called a living, breathing person Machina, or her parents did, which they must have hated her. And this is just Familia. Campaign against immortals, because of course. Is that French? Creciente a immortal manifestazione en varias partes del país. Is it French or is it, I don't know. Growing rejection of immortals, demonstrations in various parts of the country isolate the immortals, and a bunch of weird alien scribbles, which I'm assuming is the language of the other world, of the fantasy world. Vile creatures rather than people, of course. Magineering, anti-immortal weapons. Yeah. Maou ain't gonna stand for that. Like, they're being placed in fucking gulags and killed. So, yeah, we have a goal, for sure, to, if not bring immortals to their former glory, then at least ensure that they're not gonna be hunted for the sheer fact of existing, right? We have a goal. Cool. Overarching goal. Do we have an immediate goal? We do. 6 Dark Peers. May the mournful firmament, Silvald the Black Dragon, Ralshin the Blue Storm, all unknown, so presumably they are in hiding or missing or on another continent or something like that, right? We gotta find them. We gotta assemble the team again, right? One dude is dead because acted as a decoy, and then Mark, or whatever the fuck his name is, Marcus, yeah. And then Marcus is the traitor here, so that makes 6 together with Machina. 3 of them potentially we can join forces with. We have an immediate goal. Cool. We already established everything we need for a successful story in the very first episode. It's just Toa. And in the corner, I mean, that's Reine. and Kureiji Oli, and Towa. And on the left, is that Anya? Anya Melfisa? Yeah, I think so. Okay. I did not expect that. I really did not. Just fucking Hololive in the year of our Lord 2099. Nobody can see the magic. He can. That's gonna be relevant somehow. Maou being able to see magic is important. And here's a ether hacker. Back to regularly scheduled Hololive programming. I saw the ether around you waver, and then those projections changed. Right, so it seems like magic is so integrated with technology that even like displays and the equivalent of Wi-Fi just works on like magic waves or ether or whatever rather than electromagnetic waves. Ether hacking. Good morning, ether hackers. I miss Coco. I miss meme review. Honestly, still have some merch. Still have the plush plug-in type Asakoko. I still have the badge in the like. Should be somewhere. Where is it? Am I gonna be able to find it? Should have been displayed prominently, but I guess I didn't display it enough for me to see it from my seated position. But yeah, I have a pin. I have a plugin type Asakoko. Those were the times. Regardless, yeah, a bunch of techno magi babble. Pretty strict about net regulation, so I guess the EU chat control went through eventually. Vote against chat control, or, well, you can't really vote on that, but you can let know your whoever is in the EU Parliament or whatever that you are displeased with chat control, and tell them not to do that, not to vote for that. If you're unfamiliar with that thing, chat control is yet another rebrand of an attempt at like putting backdoors in like Telegram and I don't know what else, other messaging things. They're an enemy to my beliefs that the net should be a place of for true freedom. It absolutely should be. I miss the internet of the early aughts. I really do. It was a wild fucking ride for like a 10-year-old kid with unrestricted internet access. But it was a free wild ride. Now everything is just on Reddit and Twitter and Facebook, and that's basically it. Where are the forums? Where are those? Well, Punk and Rebels, right, super genius hacker. And she points him towards Marcus. Yeah, I really think that this whole segment was a little bit too long, all in all. A little bit too much, like, gloating, talking, gloating, talking, gloating, 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 talking, talking, gloating, gloating, talking, gloating, talking, gloating, gloating, talking. There we go, we're done. Basically, the essence of that entire segment was, I only was following you because you had the power. Now you don't have the power. Now I have the power, so I no longer want to follow you. Kindly fuck off. I made a life for myself. I don't need you anymore. Go away. Why did we need to spend this much time on it? I have no clue. I guess we got a bit of an exposition about what the Familia is and how magic works, right? Initialization, construction, expansion, incantation, proclamation. and Familia takes care of the first of construction, expansion, and incantation. You only got proclaim it and what expand it. Construction, expansion, incantation. Okay, you gotta initialize it, proclaim it, and whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm reminded of Mahonare, which, I mean, brief Mahonare spoilers. Long as I keep the hand up, that's spoilers. In Mahonare, I mean, it's kind of revealed in episode 1 already, so it's not much of a spoiler. Great show, by the way. Go and watch it. Go and watch Mahonare. Back to spoilers. Some students, or the students of the magical part of the academy, use like Pokédexes essentially to pick a spell and cast that spell with that Pokédex, but the assortment is limited. But in exchange, they can use them very easily. They don't really need to learn all that much. Meanwhile, our main group, our main character, and the class of oddballs are going to be learning how to use magic the hard way, but it's going to be like fully customizable and fluid and whatnot magic. So kind of like that. In summary, I wonder if using Familia bears some issues with it. First of all, you probably can only use the spells that are encoded in the Familia, so I already can see that as a limitation. Second of all, I assume it needs power, right? That like tiny little chip that Machina inserted, I assume it's a battery, or a memory card with spells. So, again, another limitation. But it sure makes casting much faster. Yeah. Merchandising plan for Ishimari, of course. Regeneration too slow, and yeah, he even got beat up by random street thugs, which I expected him to win at least this fight, but no, he didn't. Which, again, is actually kind of cool, and actually kind of fresh, that he's not some sort of a secret badass, he's not even a badass. Like, he might have the good, head on his shoulder, he might be able to figure out how to get out of this rut, right? He's intimately familiar with magic, he knows people who know magic, he has like a lot of experience using spells and whatnot. Sure, that's gonna help him, but right here, right now, he's just a random street bum. He's just a nobody, right? Cool, I like it. Stupid glimmers of life, not just that. I really don't think it's just that. I really think a good part of it is simply just the progress of magic. This is outside of the city borders, isn't it? Which I assumed would have been a dump or just a bunch of abandoned, destroyed buildings that are falling apart. But apparently someone like manages it. She's renting this place from someone. It has at least like electricity and running water and gas in the stove. This is cool shot as he steps through it. It shows his like unfamiliarity with this world. If it wasn't shown, earlier, but you don't do that, right? You leave your shoes in the bottom part and then you wear slippers or go barefoot or whatever. He doesn't know that. He doesn't give a fuck. I don't think he does, at least. Yeah? Like a double tatami kind of room at most. Low salary. Someone with presumably powerful magic just being a wagey. I mean, powerful for the year 1599, not for the year 2099. Yeah. The immediate plan, I assume, is to grow stronger. Probably. Cool. It's in ways like living here, for example, it's kind of sorta like a more serious Hataraku Mao-sama, right? Hataraku Mao-sama, but but not a comedy. Kinda, sorta. Cool. Cool. Now I would like to do this. Not this. This. There we go. Yeah, I don't need my headphones anymore. We gotta go through the stuff and the seiyuu and everything. It shouldn't take much time, but source light novel, Studio JC staff, action, comedy, drama, fantasy, sci-fi, cyberpunk, male protagonist, demons, primarily adult cast, magic, recommendations, Hataraku Mao-sama to nobody's surprise, Mao Gakuin. That's an interesting recommendation. I guess because he also was like a demon lord who get sent into the future or something like that, right? One of the like stories that I mentioned before, that there was a period where there were plenty of them. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, not really a surprise. Although it didn't give me like that many cyberpunk vibes, to be honest with you. JC staff don't need they probably don't need me to talk about what they made because they're a fairly prominent studio. Of course, One Punch Man Season 3, Danmachi, Delica's Nursery, Fairy Tail, 2.5 Seduction. What else do we have here? Way of the House Husband, more Danmachi, more House Husband, more Danmachi. Yeah, they made a lot. And every single season, every single year, they seem to be making more and more shows. Yeah, as I said, a lot, all the way to like Prison School and the Shimoneta in 2015, Majimoji Rurumo in 2014. What else do we have here? Railgun S, plenty other shows. There we go. That's the studio. Staff. I wanna check the staff. Not that many listed. What did I say about the OP? Would be fun if the person on the screens was actually the like avatar of whoever sung it. Let's start with that maybe. OP and ED from the end. OP, Shiui, Japanese singer and illustrator, so I'm assuming that's her illustration, her persona or whatever. Also ending for which for Mercury, ending for Zom 100, second opening for Undead Unluck. Cool. Nico Nico. I don't know, maybe she's a VTuber as well. Who knows? And Sekai for the ending, and just this. Okay. Original story, original character design. Let's start with that. Story by Daiga Murasaki, who did a whole bunch of Maou 2099, it seems. Original creator, then story for, I'm assuming, manga adaptation, then I'm assuming like what, web novel, light novel, or web novel, light novel, maybe, and some other mangas or light novels. Yeah. And Kureta also did original character design for Ishura, a whole bunch of Maou 2099 roles again, Ishura, T.S. Aseihei, and a couple others as well. Director and series composition, directed by Ryo Ando, who directed 86, at least opening and a couple of episodes storyboarded, episode director on One Punch Man 2, Witch from Mercury, also assistant director and plenty other roles. Demi-chan wa Katari Tai, Shokugeki no Soma, all the way back to Uchusenkan Yamato. Okay. Some good shows he directed. Yuichiro Momose did script and composition, also script and composition for Majo Toyaju, which I don't know if composition would be like responsible for that, but the art style was kinda sorta a little reminiscent with this like very thin and sharp line art. It was kinda reminiscent of Majo Toyaju. I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe we're gonna see that. No artists listed? What? Really? Did it not load? No artist listed. We're gonna check it on my anime list, I guess. Maybe anime list is just missing some Yuichiro Momose, in any case. Hajime Tonogal composition, and plenty of manga roles, not Maou 2099, but mostly Hypnosis, whatever that series is. Maou 2099. And characters and stuff. Do we have... No, we really don't have that many people listed. Okay, a little bit more here. Oh, art director. Yeah, I'm interested in that for sure. Art director is Kentaro Izumi, who also did Delico's Nursery, and not that much besides that. Railgun T, One Punch Man second season. Okay. Character design, sound director, music script. Music is actually good, so... And we've seen the script because it's Yuichiro Momose, who also did composition. Ryosuke Tanigawa, character design here. Also animation director and prop design for Nanatsu no Makan ga Shihai Suru. Also some work on One Punch Man to Nekopara OVA, Psyche K, Initial D. Plenty of Initial D versions, movies? I don't know. Never seen it. And Shakugan no Shana key animation on a couple of episodes, and even key animation on episode 3 of Rosen Maiden. That was not the tab I wanted to close. Jin Aketagawa. He is the sound director here, also for Gun Gale Online second season. Yeah, second season. Under the Unlock Special. ReZero, Danmachi, Sakuna Hime, Isekai Shikaku, and plenty other. Hataraku Mao-sama, second season at least. Cool. Dr. Stone New World, Nagatoro-san. That is a lot of roles as a sound director. Miru Tais. Tatsuya Kato did music here, also did music for Masamune-kun no Revenge, Dr. Stone, Trigun Stampede, Sakugan, more Dr. Stone, Review Starlight movie. Would you look at that? Ensemble Stars, Shoujo Konto All Starlight. The Review Starlight. Oh, we can expect some good music. Because Review Starlight had some good music. Yeah. I guess that explains why it felt so like cinematic and like deep, maybe even sometimes. Sekai Seifuku Boryaku no Zvezda, Seiko no Quasar, even at least the second season and the first season as well. Cool. Okay, that concludes the staff. Now, the voice actors. And would you look at that? Tokoyami Towa is played by Tokoyami Towa. Never would have suspected. Veltol Velvet Velsvald, Makina Soleige, Takahashi Gram Marcus Kinohara. And I mean, they don't need the introduction, so... Satoshi Hino as our Maou, also as Shandigaf in Bye Bye Earth. Momonga! Ooh, Momonga's voice, really? Kinda. Yeah, kinda like a cross between Momonga's and his like inner human voice, right? Not quite as deep and dark as Momonga's, but right? Yeah, I can hear that. Absolutely. Who else? Hung in Arknights, apparently. Kyojiro in Kimetsu no Yaiba. And plenty of other roles that I don't necessarily always recognize, I'm afraid. But yeah, the voice of Momonga. Cool. Miku Ito, who is Machina, as well as Miku in quintessential quintuplets. Who else do we have here? Someone from Sensuality, someone from Spike Yoshitsu, someone from Muv-Luv, Kokoro from Precon, Kyojin, Titan from Tact of Destiny, and I assume Tact of Symphony as well, RIP. Someone from Adachi Toshima Mura. Who else do we have here? Yeah, nobody else that I would recognize, I'm afraid. Then we have Hana Hishikawa, who's voicing Takahashi, as well as a bunch of like Onnanoko A, Junkensei B in Kaiju Hachigo, also Riza in Kaiju Hachigo, which is not the greatest, like not the biggest role either. And yeah, a bunch of essentially Villager A kind of roles. Yui in Precure, I guess. Not that many. Interesting. Daisuke Namikawa, the voice of Hero Gram, as well as the voice of Zeren in Spice and Wolf, the new one. French in Sasaki Topi-chan. Lindel in Mahotsukai no Yome. Another familiar face. Choso in Jujutsu Kaisen. Who else would I recognize here? A bunch of people from the JoJo's. Yeah, and a bunch of other Lucario and Rotom apparently as well, and a bunch of other roles as well. Then we have Masaya Matsukaze, the voice of Marcus, as well as the voice of Percival from Fate, and a bunch of unfamiliar faces, I'm afraid. Yeah, someone from One Punch Man, someone from Kengan Ashura, and a bunch of other characters who I'm not familiar with, I'm afraid. Alright. And finally, Shizuka Ito, who's voicing Kinohara, as well as Ellen from Data Live, Littorio from Azure Lane, Minakaino from Sailor Moon. Anybody else that I would recognize? Not at a glance, at least. Someone from Lord El Meloy and the Fate, of course, Fate Kaleid. Oh, someone from Gleipnir. Someone from Tower of God. Yeah, Tower of God. And a bunch of Kaori from Toaru. And a bunch of other roles. Meiko! Meiko from Prison School. Sure. Alright. Why? Yeah. Yeah, I can see that actually. Those like mommy vibes. Akeno from High School DxD. Yeah, that fits. That fits. Yuran from Blade and Soul. Sure. I guess I haven't seen any shows that she... Oh! Hilda from Beelzebub. Would you look at that? Okay. I guess I just haven't, like, seen many shows in recent years where she was a voice actress, because all those old shows I actually recognize, some people at least, right? Kaori, Hilde from, again, Beelzebub. Go and watch Beelzebub, it's an amazing show. Kozue from Working. Wilhelmina from Shakugan no Shana. Who else am I gonna see here? Now I'm curious. Yeah, all the way to 2004. Technolize, Ren, someone from Conan. All right. All right. Well, that's gonna do it. That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, yeah, there we go. So it's interesting because it seems like this show is made by an interesting mixture of people. Mostly, it seems it's made by people who, well, not mostly, not really. I can't say it's mostly made by newcomers or newbies or anything like that. Absolutely not. We've seen a couple of people at least who had quite, large portfolios, especially when it comes to music. But the voice actors are not like high scoring, I don't know, people. Well, high scoring. It always sounds bad when what I want to say is essentially not even second grade. That sounds even worse. People who are not necessarily all that famous, I'm gonna say, yeah, that works better. Same goes for the staff who makes it, which is interesting because they made something cool, I'd say. I had fun with this episode. It certainly did feel short. It really felt like it could have been compressed a little bit more, and more stuff could have been added. Or alternatively, as I said, it could have benefited from being like a double release. That would have been great, I think, because it's kind of hard for me to form an opinion right now, to be honest with you, because we don't really even know at this point what's the journey gonna be, what this show is gonna be. We have the current status quo established. Yes, absolutely. But we can't see the direction of movement that this show is gonna go in, right? Like, we know it's a cyberpunk dystopian future. We know that some of his compatriots are missing, one of them is dead, and one of them is a traitor. We know that Makina is living the wagey life in like a two tatami room, or, right? We know all that stuff. We know that he's weak. We know that magic progressed since his times, or whatever happened. Maybe his magic weakened. We don't know that. We know all those things, but we don't know the direction. Is the focus gonna be on trying to topple Marcus? Maybe. Entirely possible. Is the focus gonna be on self-improvement? Trying to grow stronger, trying to maybe make Makina grow stronger, to eventually be stronger than all the people on Earth? Entirely possible. Is the focus gonna be trying to find his compatriots and create a, team that we can tackle this whole entire task together? Maybe. Is the focus gonna be more slice of life comedic, where he's gonna pick up a job at McDonald's flipping burgers, and meanwhile Marcus is gonna be scheming from up top, but he's also gonna be like a little bit of a comic relief character, because every so often Kinohara approaches him being like, here's a new design for the mascot, and he's gonna say something funny, and we're gonna be like, ha, good old Marcus, right? Like, I don't know the direction yet. It's missing that bit. It's really missing that bit. It really feels like this episode was going and then just kind of stopped right before resolution. Almost. It would have benefited from an after credit scene, for example, where Maou just says a single line, right? A single line. Time to find the others. If I'm weak, then I just have to grow stronger. If I can't use Familia, I'm gonna figure out another way, right? If I can't be the Maou, then I need to live in this world and think of my revenge, right? Something, right? It's missing that little bit that would carry me to the next episode, right? That would create this want of the next episode, because I know where it's gonna go, but I'm curious how it's gonna go. Right now, I don't know where it's gonna go. Not really. So that would be probably my biggest criticism of this episode. aside from maybe Marcus yapping a little bit too much, that I feel we also spent a little bit too much time on. I don't know, maybe it was all necessary, maybe not. We'll see, I guess. Other than that, cool. I like the premise. I like that Veltol is actually weak and not like weak but secretly the strongest. I like how the world changed, and I actually kind of like that it changed because of the merge with the Earth. It's original, if nothing else. Would I have preferred if it was a time skip in a fantasy world? Probably. Am I gonna lose sleep over the fact that it's a merge of two worlds? Not really. It has every chance to work. So, good art. I like how this show looks. I didn't pay attention to the crowds. I'm not sure if they were CG or not, but because I'm not sure of that, then I assume that if it was CG, then it was at least good CG, because if it was bad CG, I would have noticed. Good art, good voice acting, good music. I like the music here, and I will need to watch the second episode to truly form an opinion, and I mean to even know what the show is gonna be. Because if it turns out that it's just gonna be a slice of life, I'm gonna be a little bit less inclined to make videos on the topic, right? Because there usually isn't that much to talk about in like slice of life shows. So it's gonna be kind of hard to make videos on those episodes. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait until the next week to truly figure out where the direction of this show. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch it next week. Sure, it's like good enough and fine enough, so I'm gonna see you there. I hope. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you're gonna drop it right now. Who's to say? Right now, though, I think that's gonna be it from me for today, but maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Have you read the source material, maybe? Right? Like, no spoilers. Please, I beg of you. Spoilers can go to my Discord, if you'd like. But I don't know, how does it look compared to the source material? Maybe something like that. You could also tell me that in the comments if you'd like. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Maou 2099, but also Dan Shangri-La Frontier Season 2, Mecha Ude, and Mahonare, and Arifureta Season 3, also coming whenever it comes out. And others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when I go live, because I do stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube, down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Zarena, Yuki Ally, Dr. Watt, Akamasar, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to get transported 500 years into the future.